feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's a late update from me. Very late. Like, what is it now? 10, just before 10:30 p.m. On this Wednesday, the 30th of July. So I wanted to at least jump on and at least talk about this because this is one of the biggest questions I had been getting after the verdict for Erin Patterson was when when would we find out what happened to her house? And for a couple of weeks, I wasn't able to talk about this subject very much. I found out not long not longer around the verdict that the OPP was going to make an application to seize her property. Now, this ended up happening on the 23rd of July, about a week ago, and that was a closed court hearing, which means I wasn't able to go. Closed court means it's just for the lawyers and the magistrate, or the judge in this case, and then we found out that was granted, and it seems like that property, so that Leon Gather property, is now subject of a confiscation application and order now, meaning. So what does that mean for Erin Patterson? Well, it means should there be any monetary damages or any type of payments to have to be made from Erin, they could take it from this property and use it as a way of paying off any of that money that's owed to victims, or other fines that may be levied, any restitution that's given in this sentencing later on. So it could be a variety of different things. Now, it's interesting because I'm telling you, one of the biggest questions I got asked after the trial was what would happen to that home. Well, now we know. So I'm going to read you a little spiel here about the law in Victoria. It says, in Victoria, the OPP confiscation order often is associated with the Confiscation Act of 1997, allows a court to seize assets, including property, cash, and other benefits that are suspected to be the proceeds of crime. Well, don't know if her home is the proceeds of crime as such, but I get why they made the order. This order can be made even without a criminal conviction and can target individuals, family members, and partners. The goal is to deprive offenders of financial gains from crime, deter criminal activity, and disrupt criminal enterprises. So normally this type of confiscation order is used in several ways. The one that you may know about is like underworld, or you know organized crime. So in organized crime, they often use these confiscation orders to take away any ill-gotten gains. So you see those like sports cars and mountains of cash and luxury clothing and that type of thing, and that's how they normally use these orders. They normally do that to confiscate all the things that they got from selling drugs and things like that. um, it can be used in these type of cases, like with Erin Patterson, to basically hinder her. Hey, hold on. Sorry, my cats are being jerks. They're fighting with each other. Yeah, so it can be used for a variety of different ways and means, but in this particular way, I think what they're I wonder if they're thinking that there may be a large monetary restitution order made at the end of this. I mean, I'm just speculating. I don't know, but that would be interesting if that's what they're anticipating, that there'll be some large monetary damages at some point, and that's what they're securing this property. Here's what so I'm putting up the Daily Mail's article. It has a little bit of the timeline here. Give me a sec. All right. Hey guys, good to see you. Camera's on. Yeah, proceeds of crime. Is Erin's house a proceeds of crime though? She didn't get the house from any offending as such. It's not like she got the house from selling poisonous mushrooms. So I don't know how that works, but I think it's more the fact that it's it's a large monetary item, the home, the property that can be seized by the courts as a show of force should there be any like restitution to her victims. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Yeah, drug dealers, that type of thing is what they normally use it against. Kat says you sound a bit better. I'm a little bit better. I'm still a little bit congested here and there. Um, Unfortunately, I've had to head out several times in the cold, and I don't think that has helped. I think that's delayed getting better. What's wrong? They being jerks? They're jerks. Leave them alone. Hey, Kat says I've not eaten one mushroom since the start of the trial. Uh, I don't know if I have. I might have. Probably did. Hey, Webby, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Share Bear. Good to see you. Hey, Sean. Hey, who is this? Hey, Offrin. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. So that's the update right now. So why I couldn't talk to you about it earlier, you can see in this article there was a suppression order over the restraining order, but that was lifted today at 5 p.m. So this happened the original application happened a while ago. It was like, I think it was the 16th of July. So a couple of weeks ago now. And finally we got a resolution to that today. Now the media can talk about it. So now you know. Now you know. Application made by the OPP, which is the Office of Public Prosecutions, to put this sort of order over her Leongatha home, the one that she put all the plastic around, her pride and joy, really. It's her pride and joy. This is the house that she talked about in the trial that she designed from the ground up, and this was supposed to be her forever home. It is now subject to this confiscation order from the OPP. So, hey, Drew, maybe a civil case from the families of the victims could be. I mean, they could claim that at some point. I don't know if we'll see a civil trial, but they could just wrap that up in the final sentencing and say there's a X amount of damages to each victim's family or whatever. They could do something like that too, negating the need for a civil trial later on, possibly. We'll find out. We've still got a lot of time to go. We're not going to hear a sentencing in this until I my best guess is like October, November, could even be late November this year. I mean, it's sounding like there's no real rush right now. Hold on. Yeah, it's sounding like there's no real rush right now to do of anything right now. So I heard that we may hear something in August. I'm still waiting to hear back about any movement on that. All I can tell you is that in August or whenever it happens, should there be a hearing for sentencing, even pre-sentencing for Erin Patterson, I'll be there. So I'm going to see this through to the very end, and I hope to be there on sentencing day. Well, I will be there. It should be in Melbourne, so we don't have to travel out to Leongatha for sentencing. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord we don't have to. Sean said they're taking any proceeds off the kids, as she won't be able to use it. They're taking any proceeds off the kids. Yeah, that's interesting. You know, it depends what happens with who gets it and what monetary value is assigned. We'll have to see. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to be interested. It'd be interesting if they have to sell the property to sort of make people whole. If that happens, I think that would be the last blow to Erin Patterson. we'll have to see what happens with her appeal if she appeals first. But then if they sell her dream property that she, was in love with and built from the ground up and designed and all this stuff, it's a real dagger to the heart, isn't it? Especially to the perpetrator here, convicted, triple murderer, Erin Patterson. That's all we can call her at the moment because that's what the court has decided. That's what the jury believed. That is what she is as of this moment, pending any appeals in the future. So, yeah, money. They would have to sell it. I would have to think. It's not like they're going to say you can have 23% of this home and you can have 14%. It sounds like they're just going to have to. If a application is made for some monetary advantage, they're probably going to have to sell it. At least I would have to think so, unless she has other means to meet those orders that maybe somehow she could save the property. I don't know how that works, but yeah, we would have to see. Hey, Red Like Wine, how are you? Good to see you, Laura T. Sound better? Sound better than Sunday. I don't know if I sound completely normal, but I sound somewhat better than Sunday. Doing well. All right, have fun. Get ready for work. Hey, Shebe, how are you? Good to see you. Shebe said thunderstorms here got booted, then breakers. Yeah. Oh, good to hear you. Good to see you. Can Simon sue her? Yeah, he could. He could, on the basis of what the trial found, and if her appeal was to fail, yeah, he could try for a civil undertaking against her after this all finishes out. Will he? I don't know. I got no idea. He's not really talking to the media right now. I know a couple of media people that I met through the trial, and they had been trying to contact him over the last like couple of weeks. No reply. No reply to them. So no, this is not the new chair. The new chair is actually over here. You guys can't see it. This is the old squeaky chair. Look here. This is the old broken chair. The new chair is actually, we picked it up a couple of days ago and I have to build it. So I have to tear this chair down and then build this chair and put that chair over here. So we're still doing that. This one's still squeaky. See? Oh, good work. Good work at Betty C. Karen Simon Sweet. Yep. So this is it. This is it. We can finally tell you about it. I'm happy to be able to finally report on it. That was an interesting sort of development over the last couple of weeks, and there was so many questions about it, especially on the End of the World show. And I was sitting there going, I don't know. I don't know anything about any house. What house? Because there was a suppression order at the time that I wasn't able to talk about much about anything. So yeah, the Victorian Director of Public Prosecutions made an application in the Supreme Court for the Leongatha property to be restrained under the Confiscation Act. The order was granted following a closed court hearing before Justice Quigley on the July 23rd. So that was about a week ago. And then 5 p.m. today, a suppression order was lifted over that restraining order. So there you go. That's sort of how it works in the courts. Sometimes you get a suppression order, and so sometimes what will happen is a court may issue an interim suppression order, and then they'll hear what they call hear parties on a suppression order, and that can be people like the media, other parties that are privy to whatever, and whoever wants to make an application against the suppression order. So I don't know if that's what happened here, and eventually the media won, and they won their hearing into the suppression order. I don't know. I wasn't there. All I heard was that it was a closed court hearing, and I was like, I ain't going. I'm not going to a closed court hearing. What am I going to do there? I'm not going to be allowed in. So I just sort of kept up with updates from afar. Chavez says, I can keep house secrets, but when it comes to hair, yeah. I can't do that. I can't keep any ponytail secrets. Not at all. Woman of Steel said, "Are the tsunami alerts all over? Was anyone hit?" Yeah, that's what I've been doing all day other than keeping up with I'm currently hoping for access to a new trial. I've told a couple of people about it, so I know Sean knows about it. I think a couple of other people know about the trial that I'm looking into right now. It's actually underway at the moment, and I'm hoping to go either tomorrow or the day after and sort of start covering it. So there's a trial going on in Victoria right now. There's really nothing else to talk to you about the house. That is the news. The order was granted. That order against Erin's property at Leongatha has been granted by the courts, and so it's going to be held now. It can't be touched. It can't be sold. It can't be given away. Nothing can happen to that property at the moment until more legal things happen down the road. So that is your sort of update into Erin's Leongatha property. Marilyn said that 8.8 quake off Russia. Yeah, I was watching something about Hawaii at one point. Like people in Hawaii were watching trying to wait for a tsunami to come in, but I don't think anything ended up really happening. I think which is good, but I don't think there was a ton of really anything. I don't think that wave eventuated. I don't think it really happened. Hold on. I can switch to a tsunami thing. Give me a sec. All right, here we go. Eerie moment, water is sucked out of Hawaii harbor before tsunami as roads are gridlocked. So the interesting message that came out recently was these tsunami waves could take around 24 hours to sort of dissipate, and that there could be a threat for up to about a day after the quake. So that's really interesting. Let's see, what is this? I don't want to play anyone's video that's sort of posted on social media. I feel bad. Oh, no, we're not going to play a siren. Oh, yeah, there is. So you guys can sort of see that water being sucked out of the bay. It's not as, like, dramatic as some of the others, like in Japan. Like, when that Japan one happened, like, in 2011, it was way more dramatic than that. Who was this? This is Colin McCarthy, US I know who that is, US Stormwatch. There you go, Colin McCarthy. Cruise passenger stranded as ship. Yeah, so in the ports in Hawaii, they were actually getting all the boats out. They were asking any tourism operators, whatever, to get all their passengers onto the boat and get back out to the harbor because apparently it's safer in the harbor than being in port. Because when the waves crash, that's where it's dangerous and it's safer to be out in the ocean. So, yeah. So I have a program here that you guys can't see it and I can't show it to you. I can't like put it on a tab. I don't think I can. There's a program called Global Quake, and I often have it open and it alerts you. So anytime there's an earthquake, it'll ping and then it's got like a globe and it'll like take you to it around the globe and show you where it is. So let me see if there's been any aftershocks. So it's up here, isn't it? Yeah, down here. There's been a bunch. It looks like when I checked a few hours ago, there was about a handful. There's the main quake from hours ago. There's been a few, 5.4, a lot of 5.4s, 5.1s. There's quite a number of them up in that same fault line. Looks like another one just now. A 5.5, very shallow, 0 kilometers deep. So it's not super deep earthquake. A 4.9, 4.9, 4.9. So yeah, a whole bunch of sort of like seismic activity around where that 8.8 happened. So that's what it's showing me on that program. So I always have it open in case there's a big earthquake. And this morning, when this one happened, Australian time, it started going like all alarm bells and all. I was like, "What's that noise?" And I forgot I had this open because I leave it running in the background. And I was like, oh, there was a giant earthquake. So there we go. It's a deep harbor. Remember the tsunami in Thailand years ago? So I was about 18 when the Boxing Day tsunami happened back in 2001. I was like 17, 18 at the time. And that was one of the craziest tsunamis I think any of us alive had ever seen. So if you remember that one from Boxing Day back in '01, that thing was like, I don't think the world had ever seen anything like that at the time. I don't think this is gonna be anything like that. That was just a really bad, um, sort of where the quake happened and then what countries were surrounding it, where the wave could get to. It was just a really bad, like, situation. It hit over on this side, and the wave propagated and went out further and hit, like, India and other places. It was devastating, devastating. So that was a number of years ago. I think they were saying earlier today this quake was the largest quake in 14 years. So that would probably be since the Japan earthquake back in 2011. So yeah, that's about 14 years ago. So this is probably the biggest earthquake since 2011. So yeah, crazy, crazy. It's very lucky that it didn't do more damage. It really is. I mean, there's a lot of damage in Russia. There's a lot of damage in some coastal regions, but it seems for the most part, everyone's not doing too bad. I know people in California were pretty worried. I know Insightful One was a little worried because she's out somewhere on that west coast region. So I don't see anything here. Tsunami reached 5 to 6 meters near the epicenter as waves start to reach the US. That was at 9 o'clock. That was about an hour and 40 minutes ago. Tsunami waves brought on by the earthquake reached heights of 5 to 6 meters. That's pretty big. According to visual observations, wave heights rose to 5 to 6 meters at several locations, but they're saying that is near the epicenter. So how much energy does it have and how much can it propagate and keep moving through the ocean, and does it have enough to sustain the wave height to reach land? That's what you need to know. Like, that's, you know, it's yes and no. Initial waves of about half that, a little over a meter, has so far been observed in California. So only a few foot high tsunami in California. Lucky, very lucky. So there we go. All right. Do you guys want to see a little bit about the new trial? I've shown a couple of people and I thought we would have a look at it now. Give me a sec. So 1 second, I'll bring up the trial data. All right. So this is the one that we're hoping to go to. I have to read what my Supreme Court sort of instructions say. I've sort of asked them a few questions about if we can go and check this one out, if we can cover it. They're saying a tragic love triangle that allegedly sparked a gruesome murder is revealed in court as jilted girlfriend is accused of brutally stabbing her cheating boyfriend to death. Now, the person on trial, her name is Linda Lee Falzon. She's 44, is accused of murdering James McCoglin, 61, inside his home at Sunbury on the northwest fringe of Melbourne, where the pair lived in a chaotic drug den. And this was in the Supreme Court yesterday, Tuesday, and should be continuing today. So I'm hoping to head in tomorrow, and start covering it. So this is a very, I we have to be careful of our wording now. Um, it's a trial and it's ongoing. That's all I can tell you. So I can't even say any descriptors right now. I have to go back to my Erin Patterson type, you know, what we do when we talk about that. So yeah, on Tuesday, a Supreme Court of Victoria jury sitting in Melbourne heard that she is accused but denied killing Mr. Coughlin, who was found with a knife sticking out of his chest by his other lover, and his other lover's name is Samantha. So he was found dead with a knife sticking out of his chest, and there's some sort of love triangle here going on. And they say here, in the opening Crown case, the prosecutor told the jury it should accept that Falzon was not guilty of murder by way of mental impairment. There you go. On November 19, 2022, Mr. McLaughlin had been in the process of painting the Sunbury house his mother was evicting him from when he died. The jury heard his mother had rented the property to him under the conditions he stayed off drugs and lived there alone, but he could not adhere to those conditions. Mr. Burke told the jury a man named Nathan Glasgow had been inside the home when he got into an unusual conversation with Falzon. Miss Attard later told police he handed her a screwdriver and said to her, "You know what to do." Here's the lady that's on trial here, Linda. There's a photo of her. They're saying Miss Falzon started hitting herself in the head with the screwdriver, and the evidence we expect from Miss Attard is that Mr. Glasgow then said to her, "Not to yourself, you know what to do," and that's the day before the man died. Police believe that Mr. McColgan was killed about 9 a.m. on November 20, and his body was found at the front door of the property. It's a twisting and turning case. So Ping's got a lot of case reading to do on this before I start covering it. But the trial has continued over the last couple of days. I don't know if this is something you guys would find uh, that we should cover. You should let me know. You should let me know. But it is something I don't think we have looked at before, where there's been sort of multiple people involved in a crime scene. Not saying that they're accused of the crime, just that there's multiple people that are surrounding a dead person. So I thought we should have a look at it at least. Um, it sounds like at least a case that we can do. Sorry, I my mind wants to give you all these descriptors and I can't. I'm not allowed to. I have to remember that it's an open trial right now. It could be. We'll see. We'll see. I haven't looked into it as of yet. Um, I hope you're safe in WA. I hope you're safe in WA. Julie said, "I'd like to hear all about it." Okay. Well, let me see. I haven't read my emails from the Supreme Court yet. I haven't had a chance to. It's been a busy day. I will see if we've been granted permission to go and have a look. I'm not gonna have a look at it right now, but I just want to go into here. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. Laura says, "Yes, please. If you can cover it, it'll be the same rules as Erin's." Well, will it be the same rules as Erin's? Yes. So should I pick up this a trial and we want to cover it and go to the trial and bring you all the court data and information from each day of the trial? The rules will be the exact same as Erin's. It's that way for any open trial in Victoria. It doesn't matter if it's Erin Patterson or the local drug dealer down the street. It doesn't matter. The rules work the same way. So, yeah, it would be the same thing. No speculation. Got to be very careful in the reporting of the facts. Comments will have to be turned off on any video that we do based on that trial, but not other trials or other stories. So, yeah. Marilyn said, "I hope it's in Melbourne." It is in Melbourne. It is in the Victorian Supreme Court in Melbourne right now. So if you guys think that it would be something that it'd be good to look into, I will see what can be done and I'll go. Webby said, if you cover this, I will tune in. All right. All right. Let me work on my let me check out what the Supreme Court has told me. I can see I have an email there from them after I requested um, access, but I haven't had. Often they send me a lot of detailed information. Depends what it is. Sometimes it's just like, yeah, sure, we'll see you there. Sometimes it's like, read all this, and you got to read like 50 pages of stuff before um, you can go to a trial because there's certain background information and this that you have to know. And if you want to report on it, you need to know this. You can't say this, and there's these people that are involved and that. So there might be some trial reading that I have to do before I go and check this out. So we'll see. Yeah, we can definitely look into it. Let me see if there's an update from any mainstream media that I can just play you that. No, doesn't look like there's a lot of people covering it. So it looks like it was in court way back in March. RV Linda Falson. So it looks like this has been working its way through to trial for since the early part of this year. I'm just looking at the court dockets from earlier this year. Huh. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. It definitely looks like this was working its way through the trial process from earlier this year. I can't report on it, unfortunately, but all I can tell you is that there seems to have was movement throughout the court, the Supreme Court over the last, 5, 6 months. Uh, Marilyn says, "Perfect." Yes, perfect. Hey, Lux, how are you? Hey, Julie Miller, good to see you. Yeah, so definitely will be the same rules as when we did Erin. So yeah, we'll be able to bring you daily updates from the court. Can't give me any theories, can't give me any opinions on it, and it won't be until there's a verdict that I'll be able to give you my opinion. So, we've all done this before. We did this for 11 weeks. I'm sure we can do it again. I don't know how long this trial is expected to run for. Let me see. Do they have it in this article? They're like, good work, Ping. Check the other media, see what they have to tell you. They just say the trial continues. I don't have a time frame. Sometimes they give you one, sometimes they don't. No, I don't see one. Yeah. Let me just check past 24. James McColgan. James McColgan. Hmm. Yeah, I don't have a time frame. I was hoping that maybe we might see one. Like the trial's expected to run for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 9 years, but no, I don't have one. Sean said, "Let me know if I can assist." I will. It should be all right. I think hopefully if we're heading into Melbourne, it won't be too hard or too severe as long as we're not heading out to Morwell. I hope that I ain't ever going back. You can't make me go back to Morwell. I ain't ever going back. Not. I mean, I'll go back for a holiday maybe, but I ain't going back for a trial. I mean, Erin Patterson would have to win her appeal for me to have to go back to Morwell. I ain't ever going back. Uh, yeah, that's your update for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's late here. It's about 11 p.m. Local time down here in Australia right now. It's about 11 p.m. on Wednesday. I think I am going to sort of wrap up. I just wanted to come and talk to you about Erin's sort of update. So if you missed it, Erin's property in Leongatha has now been subject of a confiscation order. and they're going to hold that property, and it's sort of being held in case there's any restitution or other claims made against Erin for her crimes. So we'll have to see whether that happens or not. So this is what the OPP had to say when they were contacted for comment from the Daily Mail. They said this is to ensure that if any family members of Miss Patterson's victims apply for compensation or restitution, the property is available to satisfy any orders that are made by the court. So that's why they have made that confiscation order against Erin's property. So they're saying, should there be any claims by any of her victims, or anyone else in the family against Erin, that house will be there to fulfill that requirement. So there is a pot of money there, or an asset that can be sold for money to make people whole on any court orders. So Maryland said 9 a.m. in Ohio. Webby said, thank you so much. Appreciate your work. I appreciate you guys. I'm sorry it's sort of been like, I'm sorry it's been so a little bit up and down. Mrs. Ping got home, and then I immediately got sick. So I immediately got the flu. Like 2 days after she got home, I got the flu, and it just threw everything out of whack. It's having to deal with her, having to have the flu, and then I was like, how am I supposed to do a show when I'm this ill? I have an ill person here too. How am I supposed to juggle both things and then do a live show? So I was like, I don't think I can. So we sort of took about a week off to sort of, one, get better, two, sort her out, and now that's all settled down. We can sort of get back to business. So collateral. That's the word I would use too. It's sort of like collateral to make sure those affairs can be settled. Woman still said, how can the Daily Mail have so much info on the new trial? Who owns them? What do you mean? What do you mean who owns them? I don't know who owns the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail owns the Daily Mail. I don't know. I met a couple of their writers out at the trial very briefly. I don't know who owns them, but they have all sorts of court reporters and like people who freelance and write for them, but then put their story in the Daily Mail, or they're just picked up just to do like just that trial. Like they may just report for the Daily Mail, but just for that court case. There's a whole bunch of different people. There's people that work on staff, that work there 7 days a week and change stories. They are There's a billion different people that work there. Sean said they are too loose on the facts. One day I can tell you some stories from the Erin Patterson trial, but not now. Not until we get a sentencing. When we get a sentencing, I'll tell you some stories about what happened during the trial. Laura T said they were just overwhelmed for months. Of course, she got sick. Yeah, I think I think my body just gave out. Warner Steele said, "Isn't it UK owned? Why can they release so much?" Oh, I don't think they're releasing so much. So the details you see here look like it's from. Let me read it. Yeah, it's from an opening in a Crown case. So in an opening in a Crown case, you tend to get a lot of details because it outlines their case to the court. So it's normally sort of the biggest day in a lot of the trials because you sort of hear the outline of how they expect the court case to go. So it's not evidence, but it's sort of an overview of what they expect the evidence to be for the trial. So you get a lot of stuff that you didn't know beforehand. That's why they have a lot of information here. It's probably in the day one documents. It's probably in the day one documents that they wrote. They probably took notes and then compared it. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background, but this is all from the opening statement. That's what that looks like to me. It's from the opening statement in the Supreme Court for this trial. So you can see here, opening the Crown case, prosecutor Patrick Burke SC told the jury it should accept Falzon was not guilty of murder by way of mental impairment. I don't know if I've ever heard a prosecutor present a case like that. That'll be something I haven't done before. On November 19, 2022, yeah, so this is all opening statement. Jury heard the subject. Yeah, again, more outlining. Yeah, so that's what this is. This is from day one of the trial. So there you go. Sorry, I'm not trying to make you sick. I'm trying to scan through it. Yeah, it's just day one. After that's what happened in Erin's one as well. On day one of Erin's trial, we got what was it? 3.5 hours of opening statement from the prosecution, which detailed basically the timeline of what we are going to hear throughout the court case. We heard Erin did this, and then we're going to move to technology data, and then we're going to hear from the medical people, and we're going to so same sort of thing. And they just outline how they expect the evidence will go throughout the trial, and that's what this is. So day one's often a lot of information. It sort of calms down over the first week or two, depending on how long the trial goes. But day one's always a rush, and it'll always be the biggest sort of blur of information in a trial. That day one will sort of always just be that sort of mass sort of dumping of new information. Hey Dominique, how are you? Hmm. I get what you're saying. I can't put your comment up, but I get what you're saying because it's a live trial. I can't put it up. Um, we'll find out. We'll find out. I will see what my contacts say at the Supreme Court, and I'll see whether they are being gracious to me. I'm sure they are. They've always been very, very, very nice to me, and hopefully we can go in and cover some of this trial for you. Oh, your son had surgery. I'm sorry to hear that, Dominique. I hope he's doing well. Hope he's doing well. Everyone's having surgery this week. Woman of Steel said, "Why would a prosecutor bring what not guilty by mental impairment?" I don't know. I have to check out the documents. That's all I have is what they posted here on this particular website. I haven't had a chance to go through any of the trial data for myself yet, but when I know, I'll tell you. But I don't know right now. I don't think it's a plea deal because they would not be in court. They go straight to sentencing. I don't know what's going on, but I'll figure it out and I'll report on it properly for you. So we may do that from tomorrow. So from tomorrow night, you may start getting some day by day trial information from this trial here. So we're going to look to do that. All right. All right. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to try to get some more rest. Hopefully that tomorrow I'll feel even better again. And I can start getting back to work. I can start getting back to trials and getting content out and covering different things in Melbourne. And we can get going. We can get back to doing it. Sorry, Dominic. It's always hard as someone who's been through multiple surgeries with her for the last 8 weeks. 8 weeks of surgeries and tests and drainage tubes and billions of other bloody things. And, now her mum is actually just come out of surgery for her lung cancer surgery. So she's doing well. The mum's doing well. Mum had a really good surgery on Monday. She's doing really good. All right, we should probably get out of here. Yeah, Loris, he says, "Sweet dreams, Ping." I will. I'll have a good night. I will see you tomorrow night. I will let you know. Keep an eye on the Twitter. If I end up going out to the trial tomorrow, you will know because I'll be posting about it on Twitter. So, Webby said prayers for everyone. I know. I hope this tsunami sort of dies out. Hope these people in these areas sort of are okay. Hope no one's going to get any. Oh, they're doing a funeral procession in London for Ozzy Osbourne today, apparently. Yeah, I'll show this very quickly. Apparently, they're doing his funeral. There you go. There's his hearse carrying the singer's coffin, spelling out Ozzy after Ozzy Osbourne died a few days ago, not long ago now. Uh, so there you go. If you want to follow that coverage, I'm sure. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Luckner is probably covering the funeral out of the UK. Sean said, "Until next time, beautiful people." That's right. It's getting late at night. Keep an eye on the Twitter tomorrow. If I head out to this trial, you'll know about it because I'll be there and then I'll be tweeting stuff out. Um, I'll probably read my email and it'll say, "There's no trial on Thursday tomorrow, Ping. Next trial is on Monday." And I just told you that I could be at the trial in the morning. I don't know. I have to read what they have to say. So you'll find out when I find out. And when I find out, I'll post it on the Twitter. Until then, good night, everyone. Be safe out there. To all the people in the tsunami areas, I hope you're okay. I hope you're doing okay after a scary day, having to move, to higher ground and things like that. It's pretty frightening. But hopefully that threat will pass and no one will get hurt. That would be good. Until then, until tomorrow, I'll see you then. Good night. Bye.